Hello, friends. Hello. Happy Tuesday. That feels like a Monday. It does. It does. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. We did so much yard work. So much yard work. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I was just out doing something now. I have plants. Look at, I have leaf in my hair. Yes, 'tis the season for yard work, which I'm glad that we've had good weather for that. It definitely feels summer-ish out there. So I hope that you had a great weekend. I was hoping to get on here yesterday, but it just wasn't going to happen. Too many things going on. So we are here for Tuesday Craft and Chat. So if you're watching live, always say hello. If you're watching via replay, let me know that you're here. If you're a first-time watcher, please introduce yourself. That's always really fun. So Tuesday Craft and Chat, you know that we have a project that is a little bit more involved. Funny thing though, this card, no stamping. No stamping on it, and I am showcasing some products that I have not shared with you before. I did check what's available list before I came on. All of these products are actually available, so that is also really, really good news. So for those of you who watched our craft along last week, thank you so much for that. We are back to our regularly scheduled program for a bit. So let's start making this card. We're actually going to make it all the way from scratch together. We're going to cut everything together. We are going to score everything together. We are going to do all the work together. So let me show you a little bit about what we're going to be using. So this is, and I don't know if you can see it that well, but this is, if you look in there, can you see that there's die cuts? I'm going to show you the one that I actually used. But this is the Floral Flight Accents, and it is a piece of black cardstock. And what it is all of these pieces are die cut. It's very, very heavy black cardstock. And so what I recommend when you're using this is to go ahead and punch out all of the images and punch out the little insides as well, because what happens with these is it's not like a typical die cut where they just pop right out. They're all attached a wee bit to the cardstock, and so I'm not going to lie, it's going to take you a minute. It's going to take you a minute to die cut and push out all the pokey parts of that. So this is something I would just turn on Netflix. I would do the whole sheet and then put them all in a clear envelope or a container of some type. But you can see like here, I like to use my little pokey guy in there, but there are lots of little pieces in all of these that make for really beautiful images, but the pieces don't just fall out when you take them out. You have to actually make sure that you are punching all of those little pieces out. And so look at these butterflies. Look at how cute that is. But all of those little innards have to be punched out, and they do take a little bit of a hot minute. So that is one project we're going to use. Love the black, super elegant. So we're definitely going to be using that, and you get a lot of pieces there, lots of different pieces that you can use. So we're going to be using that as one part of our card, and then the other part of our card is going to come from the Sincerely Noted Mix and Match Ephemera. You know the pack. Oh my gosh. Why can't I ever say that word when I come on here? Ephemera. You know what it is. Okay. So we're going to be using this. And I love this particular set. This is the Sincerely Noted. And so you get two each of each design. So there's this one. And then we have this one here. These are just so cute. And yes, they are great for scrapbooking, but they are also really, really good for card making. And so we're going to use these as well. I miss you already with heartfelt thanks. That's clearly for a card, right? So even though we think of these sometimes as maybe like, oh, those are pieces I would use on a scrapbook, I'm going to challenge you to think, no, this particular set, really, really good for cards. So we're going to be using that as well. And then we are going to use the Array of Dots in this beautiful Flirty Flamingo, Pool Party, Secret Sea, or Pretty Peacock, all of the good colors there. We're going to be using that. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to cut and score it together for this project, so you can see exactly how it comes together. Like I said, it's not a hard project. It's just a project that you have to you got to do some work. You got to do some work. You're going to earn your keep on this one. So card base, we are going to do Flirty Flamingo. And so I'm going to cut this at 5.5 by 11. So we'll get that guy in there. 5.5 by 11 is your card base, and I am doing that in Flirty Flamingo. So we'll set that aside. Now we also need what we're calling a front V panel. Let me see if I have a piece here that I can, a little scrap piece. And this needs to be 3 by 6. So we're going to come in here at 3, and we're going to cut this to 6. All right, so we're going to do all of our cutting before we start doing. Are we going to keep that? Yes, we are. We're going to find something fabulous to do with that. So we've got those pieces. Now we need a little bit of black and white. And so the first thing we're going to do with our piece of black is we're going to go 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we need 2 of these pieces. So there's 2 3/4. And then we're just going to flip it around. Another 2 3/4. And another 2 3/4. All right, so we've got that all set. So we'll put our little scraps all together over here. And then we need another piece of basic black for the inside. And so this one is going to be 5 1/4. So like I said, we're doing all of this together in real time. You can see it does not take long at all, even though there's lots of moving parts on this card. 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. All right, so those are our pieces of basic black. And then we do need a couple pieces of our basic white. So let me put these little scrap guys back in their little folders. Grab some basic white. All right, and we are going to do a couple of cuts for basic white. Our first one is going to be 5 by 3 1/2. So we'll go 5, and then we're going to go 3 1/2. You know, I like to bring you a little bit of a fancy fold when we're here. And then we need to go 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. So we're going to put that right there. 2 1/2, and then we're just going to turn it, and it should come out perfectly to 2 squares of 2 1/2. All right, so our cutting is done. Now we're going to scoot over and we are going to do our scoring. And this is where the magic happens, as you know. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take that piece of 6 by 3 and we're going to score it at 3. So we'll come in, give that a good score, set it aside, and then we're going to take that large piece of Flirty Flamingo. This is our card base, and we're going to do our scores on here as well. This one I do need to open up here. So we are going to come in here and we are going to score this at 1 3/4. And then 3 1/2. And then 5 1/4. Oh, cutting blade. Oh, just pretend I didn't do that. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, goodness sakes, Lisa. Our card will still come together. If I was making it to send to somebody, we would have to start all over. But it's just for demonstration purposes. Goodness sakes, Lisa. All right, now we're going to pull out some of our Designer Series paper. And this is another paper that I have not shown or used with you guys yet. It is, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty, right? Beautiful, beautiful Ordinary Life. So, got this really beautiful watercolor that I think is so pretty. We've got 2, and then on the back side you can see we've got black and white, and so this is like a little hexagon. And then we have this really dreamy stripe, kind of a diffused stripe, and on the back of that we have some florals. And then we have these really beautiful, I don't know what you would call this. This isn't a not fleur-de-lis, but it's really, really pretty. Great colors there, and it's got some polka dots on the back. And then we have these geometric lines with some crosses on the back. And then we have this beautiful honeycomb pattern, you guys. That is really good. That is stunning. And then we've got that herringbone black and white on the back. And then we have this beautiful pool party with the little polka dots. And then some V's on the back. I mean, this paper, so good. So we need to cut a little bit of this paper, and let me show you what we're going to use for this project. So you knew we were going to use this one because I thought it was just so pretty. So this needs to be 1.5. So we'll put that guy in there. So we're going to cut 1.5, and then we're going to cut these to 5.25. And I need 4 total, and so we are going to mix and match here. So this is going to be 1, and then we're going to use that same strip, and we're going to make 2 of that one. So we've got 2 of that. And then we're going to come in with the stripes as well, and we're going to cut 2 of those. Now, remember with a stripe, if you cut it this way, you're only going to get a little bit of that color, but if you turn it and you cut it this way, you're going to get a lot more of that color, which is really what we want, which is going to make it look so good. So again, 1.5. One and a half, try that again. And then we're going to cut these to 5.25 by 5.25. 5.25 here, and then 5.25 here. And it's nice when you do those strips that way, because you just end up with just that little teens left over. So I don't feel too bad. I mean, you know I'm going to have to use that for something because scraps, right? All right, so we've done the hard part. We have done all the cutting. We have done all the scoring. Look at all the notes it took to get us this far. That is a lot of notes. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our piece of scored Flirty Flamingo, and we are going to go ahead and just fold that back. Remember, that's a fold. I didn't actually cut it there. Just go with it, right? Just go with it. All right, so we have this nice little fold that comes out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our designer series paper on this. So we're going to turn it over. And this is a new adhesive, so let's go, people. There we go. So we'll turn these ones over and put our adhesive on there. So we'll open this up, and we're just going to alternate. We're going to just create a really nice little pattern alternating these. So we'll put our stripes. Doesn't matter if you put your stripes in one place and your pretty little images, they're little petals, aren't they? They're just cute little sweet little petals. They're so cute. I love that pattern. I want to find out what the name of that pattern is. If anyone knows, feel free to put it in the chat. Otherwise, I will look it up and figure out. You know, it kills me to put this polka dot on the other side. It's so cute. All right, really, really simple here. We're just going to go ahead and do that. So you can see how this is going to fold right up. Just like that. So that part, that front part is done. We're still going to need to do the inside, but let's come over and do this part. So this is the 6x3, and we just scored it at 3. So it creates this nice little square here. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to layer on our black and our white pieces that we already cut. So this measures 3x3. So in order to create that really nice frame, these black ones are going to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And so when you open this up, I want you to think like hill, and then we're going to lay it down, and we're going to put our 2 pieces of black, basic black cardstock on there. And then we're going to go in, we have our basic white at 2.5 by 2.5 that we cut. And so we're going to go ahead and put that on there as well, and that just creates a really nice frame. And I think the black really helps pull together the black images that we're going to be using there as well. So we've got that going there. This part, so the one on the left, is where we are going to do our greeting. And so we are going to grab that packet, and we are going to take that happy birthday. Now, when you take these out, these are sticky on the back. So I could fold this and pull off that, and it would stick right on, which is really great. But with how I'm using it, I actually want to put some dimensionals on there. So we are going to leave it whole and just turn it over and put the dimensionals on. So we're just going to use it without using that sticky back. Super, super fun if you want to have something that isn't raised up, and I love that we have that. But we're going to create a little bit more oomph up here. So we're going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on there. And we're just going to go ahead and put it right there. All right, so we've got that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with those 2 butterflies. Those 2 butterflies that we punched out and then spent 4 to 5 hours. But no, I mean, I will tell you, it took way longer than I thought. I was getting a little sweaty, which is probably one of the reasons we're cutting this together, because I was like, that is just a lot going on there. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to take a glue dot here. I think that they are the perfect size to put underneath the body of that butterfly, and just give it a little oomph here, right? So it'll sit right there, and then we're going to do the same thing to the smaller butterfly. And I think you get 4 or 5 butterflies on one sheet, so you get a pretty good amount. So we'll go ahead and just put that little glue dot right there under his body. We're going to put that right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it. And if we bring our card over, this is going to sit, if you look here, it's going to sit under that last fold, and it's going to sit just like this, so that when we open it, it will open like this. All right, so here is what I have found works the best. I know where I'm going here, so I'm just going to open this up, and I'm going to give myself a line here. And here's, I'll tell you where I kind of got stuck when I did it the first time. So I've got this sitting right here. What I did is I opened it up so it would lay flat, and that's not really what you want. It's not going to work if you have this plate piece is not going to lay flat. It's going to have a little bit of a hill to it. So just turn it over, and then you can put your adhesive right here, and that will give you enough leeway so that it will open and close really well, and it won't look weird, right? So it's going to be closed, and then we're going to open it. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Love, 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 love. And I think the black is so pretty on here. So we are going to finish this inside piece is what we're going to do. So we're going to take, we have a piece of basic white that's cut, and we have our piece of basic black. And let's just see that they are lined up perfect. So we have that nice little frame, and then they're going to sit right on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to decorate the inside of this white piece here. And so we are going to take those elements that we punched out, and we're just going to kind of play with them a little bit and see where we want them to go. So I've got a couple different ones here, right? Oh, there's another little guy still sticking in there. All right, so we're going to put this here, and we're going to put this one here. Maybe we'll go here, and then we're going to put this flower here, and this one maybe up here. Okay, so kind of playing around, getting a little bit of a feel of where I want them to go. And so what I'm going to do here then is I'm just going to go back to those glue dots. I feel like they worked so well. And so I'm just going to start with the middle of them, and so I'll get those put down. Ooh, when I was online today, I had to place an order for a client, a customer, and saw the really, really cute new product of the month. It is a stamp set, and it is beyond darling. I think you're going to love it. So remember that product of the month that will come out beginning of June, and so for every $75 in orders you place, you will be able to order that little stamp set. And who doesn't love a stamp set for $5? I mean, it's so cute, and it is really, really darling. I'll be popping it into my newsletter tomorrow, so if you're not on my newsletter list, make sure to comment below, and we will get you all set up there. That is where all of the good things happen, is on that newsletter list. First to see everything, first to get all the classes and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on here. So like I said, even though we're not doing any stamping, you can see this is definitely a wee bit involved, isn't it? I mean, we're doing some work here. I think I'm going to leave that one off. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this one here. All right, so I'm going to go get myself a couple glue dots here. It's kind of one of those things, like you think you know what you're going to do, and then as it starts coming together, you're like, honestly, I think that might make it a little busy. And you know me, I do not like things that are overly busy. It makes me just a little anxious. So we're going to put that flower there, and then we're going to come in with this other little flower. You know what I call visual clutter, which I know that's like sounds so redundant, but I can't think of a better way to say it. Like when there are just things in, and I don't mind some clutter, like some clutter is good, but neat and tidy makes me feel happy. I'm sure it's a control issue. We could probably do therapy on me right now for that, but is what it is. All right, so got a little bit of glue on the back of that one as well, and I think we're going to put, oh, look at that little stinker came in there. See that little piece that's just hanging out? I'm telling you, Netflix, get all those pieces out so you're not annoyed by them. So we're going to put that one, I think, right up here. All right, so super cute, right? Really great little layering there. Now we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to come in with our beautiful dots, because this piece is going to be only design. It is, we are not going to, we're going to create this space over here is going to be to write on. So this piece is going to be strictly for looking good. Let's get a little dot under there. All right, perfect. And then we're going to come in with some of our pretty little, it's the array of dots. It is made specifically to harmonize with this particular set of papers. So you can do that. We're going to go and add, I mean, why not, right? We're here. We're going to add a couple more, maybe a little more color in there. All right, so we've got that. Now, what we need to do with this is we need to turn it over and we need to trim. We need to get those pieces off. I just really, really like when the pieces go off the page. It just feels a little bit more organic to me. And so I think that that's really cute. So that is our piece there. And all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, turn that over. Actually, I'm going to leave it up because there's a lot going on there. And I feel like if we turn it over, we're going to have some chaos. So we're going to come in with our adhesive here. Go ahead and layer that right on there. And then we're going to, I'm telling you, those little pieces, they're going to be like dimensional backings. You're going to find them absolutely everywhere. So we're going to pick up all of this. Oh goodness, everything is sticking to everything. We're just going to come in with a little bit of adhesive here. Get that nice and centered. And then I feel like we also need to put some little zhuzhing over here, don't we? We are going to come in and put and that is our card. All right, so we used, let's me remember, we used the Sincerely Noted Mix and Match Ephemera for the greeting. We used the Floral Flight Accents for these beautiful butterflies and those inside florals. And then we used the Beautiful Life, right? Is that what it is? Beautiful Ordinary Life Designer Series paper. You guys, we used a lot of things that I had not opened prior to starting to create this card, but I think it just turned out so darling. And once you get those measurements down, the sky's the limit. And then you have this place right here to write your sweet little note. So you could, like I said, depending on what you like, you could put a lot more stuff in there. Here is the one that I did for my practice run, and I used that big floral there. Isn't that just so pretty? So really great, just really fun, really, really fun project. So I hope that you liked that. I hope that was fun for you. Something to, if you haven't made it, maybe it will inspire you to make. And if you have made it before, you're probably like, I forgot all about that fold. That's how I feel a lot of times. I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to make that all the time and I forgot all about it. So super fun, great chance to use some products that are actually in stock and that you can buy. Don't forget that when you spend $50 with me, you get a free tutorial via email. So I've got all of the weekend orders. Those will be going out later today. And then stay tuned for Card Club because that is going to be really, really fun. I'm super excited about what we're doing for June, and you'll have a chance to sign up for that June 1st through the 10th with me as well. And then don't forget, we're going to have a Christmas in July coming as well. That is will be very similar to Silly Old Bear Craft Along, which was just such a good time. So thank you guys for joining me. Know that I appreciate you so very much. And don't forget, the starter kit special ends with the end of the month. So when you join for $99, you can pick $125 in product of your choosing, plus you get all of the new in-color ink pads for free. Love it. And they are new design. So fun. So fun. So I hope that you guys have a great start to your week. She's a short one. She's a short one. Get in all you need to get in, right? All right, my friends, make it a great one.